Hello and welcome to Invictus Porsche. We've got a Porsche 911 991.1 Turbo S, and today we will cover everything you need to know, perhaps what these are all about, the amount of fun you can have, why these are supercar territory, and if you're looking to buy a 991 Turbo S, this is currently in stock. It's in this incredible color, and I will tell you everything you need to know from spec, driving, performance, how they handle, and what you get from an overall Porsche experience. Before we can delve into this video, don't forget to press subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and I just wanted to say thank you in advance for watching the video, because what we make from the two YouTube channels gets donated to a UK registered charity, and we're currently in the process of building a school in Afghanistan, so every single penny helps. And what I just did now, you can do this again and again and again. Now, this 911 991 Turbo S, when I say it's supercar territory, that's because in the iteration of the 991.1, which was introduced in 2015, Porsche came a long way from the days of the 930 Widowmakers. This goes back to the 70s and the 80s, where the 911 turbos had a bit of a lag, and when they kick in, unfortunately, you don't know if you are breathing or not. Now, in 2015, what sort of a technology and what sort of performance, what sort of an engine setup you can expect from this iteration? Well, you've got the 3.8 litre naturally aspirated 6-cylinder, obviously turbocharged engine, hence the wording turbo. And from BHP point of view, this produces 552 BHP, 750 Newton meters of torque. And if you want to talk about and have bragging rights to what can do the quickest 0 to 60 miles per hour times, this does it in 3 seconds. That is absolutely incredible. In terms of top speed, you're looking at 197 miles per hour. And if you're curious what the curb weight of this vehicle is, that is approximately 1,550 kilograms. Spec, before we can discuss the exterior spec, how about we get behind the wheel and tell you everything you need to know in terms of what it's like to drive, how it handles, how it sounds, and then we'll come back, tell you a little bit more about the exterior and the interior, and hopefully convince you to buy this if it's still in stock by the time you've watched it. Owning and driving a Porsche 911 is a stuff of dreams, and to be able to actually experience one in terms of getting in and out of it, whether it's for a weekend or whether it's one that you'll daily every single day, I think it's something truly to appreciate and admire. For many of us, a 911 is that moment in our life where we feel like we've achieved everything. We've hit that ceiling. You've got a house, you've got a family, and you want to treat yourself to a 911. To some of us, you might have not achieved and done all those things, but you might have simply had a poster of a 911 on your bedroom wall. Whatever is the case, I will be reviewing this 911 in this test drive. And for the first time, actually feeling what it's like to drive a 911 991 Turbo S in a very long time. Because the last time we actually had a Turbo S in stock was about 2 to 3 years ago. So everything is in operation. Let's go. One thing that I absolutely adore, and to me it's a big plus and a bonus, is this pan roof. And that is because it makes the experience of being on the inside all the more better, because you can hear your engine, you can feel the road condition, the road noise, and everything that bit better. And that is something that you don't necessarily experience when it's a coupe with no pan roof, where in fact some of the sound insulation that is up there on the roof takes away a little bit from the experience of an 911. So it's nice to have that in the specification. It also means somebody spec'd it well. Someone that's absolutely going to be loving this dampy, wet and cold conditions are the turbos, because they're going to be getting plenty of cold air. So we've got the sports button switched on, the engine is rumbling, I can feel it, I can hear it, and we're going to be putting our foot down. Now I've closed the windows, closed the roof, and I just would like to experience simply being focused on my driving now. Now, we've got the PDK dual clutch transmission. This stands for Doppelkupplungsgetriebe. And the Germans have done an exceptional job with the PDK. Personally, in my opinion, I think the PDK is the best gearbox one can have in a sports car. That dual clutch transmission, you've got two clutches, one working off odd numbers, the other working off even numbers, combined as two parallel gearboxes working to act as one gearbox. And the gear changes are seamless, you don't feel them. They happen in an absolute instance. There's no lag between the torque to wheel and what I love about the 911 is this sound on the downshift. And the pops and the banks are a nice thing to have. We're in fifth gear, doing speeds, which is quick, and the 911 feels and handles and corners just so well. It is a very well planted car, and it grips and holds to the road, and it's a very reassuring feeling. And the Turbo S, being wider bodied, just has this presence, and at the same time the wider tires are really reassuring. Now, performance-wise, or engine, what do we have here? We've got the 3.8 litre turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, which produces 552 bhp, 750 newton meters of torque, and the 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. And what I just did now, you can do this again and again and again. And that is what Porsches are so good at, and Porsche have done an amazing job. And having the function of launch control, you know, it's a very addictive function to have. I don't recommend one using it all the time unless you're on the track. But at any point you want, you could use the pedal shifts on the sport steering wheel to drop from 5th to 3rd. Put your foot down. And the turbo with the 4-wheel drive technology will save you when it needs to. And no longer does one need to worry or be afraid from the days of the turbo lags and the widowmakers. And the rear axle steering makes that difference where you need it. This is Supercar. It is a supercar. The performance, the handling, the sound, the looks. And the carbon ceramic brakes, of course, adds to that excitement and the experience of knowing that your car will stop when you press that brake pedal. So it's a great add-on to have. A very expensive add-on to have when you're buying it brand new. And now we will come back and talk to you a little bit of the exterior and the interior spec, and hopefully convince you to come in and spend £90,000. Absolutely exhilarating. We're back here from our test drive. This is finished in this superbly gorgeous sapphire blue metallic color, complemented with the 20-inch central lock wheels, which again look incredible. In terms of specification, you've got the PDLS headlights, as well as having the rear axle steering on this 911. The interior is something of an absolutely eye-catching. Eye-catching in terms of the spec, but you know, it's these little subtle changes that somebody spec'd this 911 incredibly well in terms of having the sport design mirrors. But let's invite you in to the inside and tell you a little bit more about what it is like. Straight away, you're welcomed by this combination of a black leather and a red leather interior look. I think this is done in a very subtle manner, starting from the very basic fact of having this beautiful, gorgeous sliding panoramic roof, which is in black. So you've got a theme going on here. Black sunroof, red leather interior, the back of the seats are red, the back of the seats is black, the steering wheel is in black, the whole of the front dash is in the extended leather package. Anywhere that you find black, you've got the red diamond stitching, which looks incredible. It also has the carbon package, so you find carbon here, carbon on the doors, and just gives it this classiness to it, because somebody's obviously thrown all the money that they could to spec it to potentially being, in my point of view, the best spec 911 991.1 Turbo S. You've also got things like cruise control. You've got both the heated and the ventilated seats. You've got the 18-way electrical adjustable seats with memory settings, so you can store the seating settings to the key. Additionally, these are the sport seats, and they've got this hardback look to the back of it, which also has red diamond stitching to the back of it. And obviously, with a Porsche, one of the biggest selling point is the 2+2 layout, which is an absolutely phenomenal thing to have from a practicality point of view, having two seats at the back. And lastly, should you need a boot space, you've got a boot space there as well. One thing that I immediately look at when it comes to a 911, which are absolutely, key items for me to have, and I'll get you back into the inside, is having the sport steering wheel with paddle shifts, and then this area there, littered with as many buttons as possible, puts a smile to my face. You find that this has got the Sport Plus, the Porsche dynamic chassis control, so if you're going to be driving on the track, it's helpful. And it's a very expensive spec item. I think £5,000 for the PDCC, and you obviously have got the sunroof, the pan roof, which can open and close from these buttons. And here you've got two buttons. One is for the heating seats, and the other one is for the cooling seats. Again, a great spec item. And you've got the Chrono Sport Plus package, as you can see, both from the Sport Plus and the Chrono watch there. I think all these things are key items towards keeping the value of your Porsche 911 Turbo S as high as possible. And I think these are definitely an investment piece in terms of how well they hold value and how well they will continue to hold value over the years to come, because these being one of the very first 911 Turbo S's produced when Porsche went from just being Porsche but being actually part of the VAG group. So this is on the interior. In terms of the rear, you've got this spoiler that comes up quite high, but even when it's low down, I think it looks incredible. You've got not much of an engine view here other than two vents and being able to top up your coolant and your oil. What for me does it when it comes to the 911 turbos is obviously this gorgeous back end, these vents here that has a functional role, where you find these scooping vents on the side of the arches, and just the overall stance of the 911 Turbo S. They're wider, more BHP, more power, and they are an absolute brute of a muscle car. This is as best as you can get when it comes to practical, dailyable performance in a 911. So I hope I've covered everything you needed to know to this 911. And if you still want to be convinced, it's as a matter of fact has got quite low owners, so 3 owners from new. The current 3rd owner has owned it since around 2019. It's got a full Porsche main dealer service history. And if there's anything else that I've missed out, don't forget to give us a call. And lastly, don't forget to press that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hopefully we see you in the next video. Once again, thank you, God bless you for watching these videos, because it means we get paid by YouTube to build a school in Afghanistan. So it goes a long way. Thanks, bye-bye.